Hi there, welcome back. So today's video is something a little different. We're going to use a lot of mixed media. There will be resin. We will be using resin in this mould, silicone mould here. It's a mould for some handles. Now look at this beautiful, this is decoupage paper by a company, the brand is Decoupage. I think I'm actually going to show you the packaging in a moment. And I picked these two colours. I did actually also pick a third, which you will see shortly. You can get them from most retailers online, in store. You don't have to use decoupage paper. There we are. There's the branding, Decoupage. You can use napkins with a lovely print on, whatever you like. Now we also bought these lovely 3 wooden trays. Now I'm calling them trays. You could make them into pictures and so on. And we're also going to use some metallic gold paint, mica. So I'm just dusting this mould. This is for tray handles. There's a big clue there with this lovely metallic gold mica powder. Now the mica powder and everything else that we have used in this video today will be linked in the description box. To take you to the products. Obviously you don't have to use those. This is only ever an idea for you to try. I will say there's not a lot of resin in this project. I hope you're not too disappointed, but look at this. So what I'd actually done, and I haven't shown you it because it didn't work out, I did paint these different colours and then wasn't happy with the effect, so thought, gonna shelve that one. We're gonna carry on, we're gonna stick with it. So what I've done there is I've measured out how much of this lovely decoupage paper is required to line the inside of this tray. And then I've cut it, just using a pair of scissors. I've then done the same in this other paper. And I've decided I'm going to paint the bottom of the tray in that lovely blue, like Grecian blue acrylic paint. And there's the third type of paper. And then this beautiful deep blue again. As I said, everything we use in the video will be linked in the description box. So just literally gave the bottle of paint there a little bit of a shake. This is acrylic paint that I'm using. That's just my preference. So just squidged plenty on to the bottom, the underside of this tray or little box, shallow box. As I said, you don't have to use them as trays. You can use them as pictures, make nice 3D pictures. You could decorate them as frames and put, little keepsakes in them. Totally up to you what you want to do. So there we go. We just applied that lovely deep blue paint. Now, I did paint the sides. And I did do that with all 3 trays. And then I changed my mind because I didn't like the effect. This was very organic, this project, very organic. Yeah, I actually do cover up the sides of the tray. So spoiler alert, this is the last time you're going to see this lovely blue paint on the sides of the trays anyway. There we go. Just squidging a bit more out. There we go. Oh dear. Got some of the paper towel print. So what I've done here, and I haven't got any video of me doing it for this one unfortunately, is I've applied some gold mica powder. The same mica powder you saw me dusting the silicone mould with. I've applied it to the bottom of the tray. The paint was almost completely dry, and I also did do the sides. Now I loved the effect on the bottom, but then changed my mind about the sides. I was very, very indecisive with this project. I really wrestled with it, and to be very honest with you, almost didn't bring it to video to be published. But here we go. This is the medium-sized tray. Beautiful sort of Grecian blue coloured acrylic paint. Now, I did also paint the sides, which I'm not going to show you because you don't need to see that. And then I took this lovely golden green mica powder and try to do the same as I'd done for the darker blue tray, but I don't know, I thought it was working, and then it didn't work, and then I tried again, but I was trying to basically go for the same sort of thing, bearing in mind that the decoupage paper, which is will be on the inside of the trays, is very much the same colours as this. So as you can see, that green's hardly showing up at all. So I'm now going in with a deeper blue colour, and I'm just literally dipping a dry paintbrush into the pot, sprinkle it on the top, and then just trying to dust it in. Now I think this one, I think the paint was just a little bit too dry perhaps for me to get the same effect as I had on the previous tray that I showed you. So I'm going to try the green now. Why not? As Claire from Claire's Crafty Corner says, let's just chuck it over. Let's just chuck it all in. Let's just chuck everything at it. So this is very much a hashtag Claire made me do it type of thing. But look at that green gold. I mean, that looks beautiful. So what I'm doing here is it's almost like if you were doing a painting on a canvas or a piece of paper and building up layers of colour, illusions of light and shade, highlights, sort of a bit. Actually, do you know what? And I'm not saying I'm a really good paint or artist. I'm not saying that at all. But if you squint your eyes, maybe that's a Monet. You know, the lily pond, the lily pads in the pond. Maybe. Yeah, a lot of artistic license going on there, Laura. But anywho, I wasn't going to give up. I was just going to keep trying. I mean, you know, if I didn't like it, I could always just brush this off and paint over it again. That's the beauty of these things. You can also do that. Now, just taking a wider bristled brush, and I'm trying to blend it. But as you can see, yeah, a lot of it just came off. It just wasn't working for me. I don't know what I was doing wrong. I was almost at the point of giving up, to be honest. I did put this. I'd been doing this project, by the way, for over 2 weeks. I've been picking it up, putting it down, picking it up, putting it down, picking it up, putting it down. Yeah. And as I said, almost didn't finish them. Almost didn't bring you the video. But yeah, as we've said all along, we'll bring you the good with the bad. But, you know, I wanted to stick with it. I mean, these aren't going to be going up for sale. These will be for us to use in our home. So there we go. I do love that effect now. That's more like what I wanted. A lot more like what I wanted, actually. So I was quite pleased at this point with this. There we go. There we go. So sort of, you know. So in this particular shot, so you can see I have painted the sides and the tops of these trays. See, look at how beautiful that is. Now, I then sprayed all of these trays with 3 coats of that craft sealer. So hoping that you then, if you run your hands over the top, you wouldn't get covered in mica powder. It did do the job. It did the job actually very, very well indeed. So the next step was to put the decoupage or the decoupage papers in. Now, what you can see in that little container, that plastic container there, that white solution, all that is a mixture of PVA glue and water. So it's about, I think I did it, it's not half and half, it's about 3/4 PVA and 1/4 water. Just mix it up well and then just applying it in a thin layer, but an even layer to the bottom of the tray. There we go. So just applied it. When it dries, it does dry clear as well, by the way. There we go. And then, now this is my second attempt at putting this paper in. It's a little bit tricky. It's a little bit fiddly. Do take your time. Go careful. You don't want it to rip. And of course, the idea is that you don't have any creases and bubbles. So I did end up having to take it back on itself there, as you can see. And then I'm going to turn it around the other way. And now I've got a dry paintbrush that has not been used for mica powder. So it's clean and it's dry. And I'm just smoothing down the paper as I go, hoping to get rid of any of the creases and the bubbles. There we are. So just going over it again. Go careful when you do this because it can rip. And obviously that's not what you want to have happen. So there we go. That looks rather effective. So what you then do when you're doing the decoupage, you then put another thin layer, even thin layer of the PVA water glue mix over the top. So there we go. That's what I'm doing there. And then you leave that to dry. It doesn't take very long to dry at all, but I left it to dry. So there we go. Very, very pleased with this then at this point. Now, after it's completely dried, so the following day, Wayne mixed up some clear resin for me. Because they didn't quite have in, I wasn't quite happy. I wanted that paper to be thoroughly protected. So he mixed up some ghoul resin for me, and he just poured it into the base of each of the 3 trays. And now you can see there, he's just tilting the tray just to make sure, just helping the resin along there to get to the sides of the trays and completely cover that lovely, lovely paper. I think that's a peacock feather, that one. There we go. So almost to the edges. Fab. Brilliant. Okay. Now he's just taking a little mini stir stick there, just helping it all the way around to the edges, making sure that there are no little bubbles, air bubbles, and that it is all thoroughly coated. So he then did go on and do the other 2 trays as well for me. Now, whilst he was there, he then mixed up a little tiny bit more resin there, added in the lovely golden mica powder that we used to dust this mould, and then he filled up this silicone, they're handles, they are handles, he filled it up, both of them, right to the very tops, because one of the 3 trays is going to have handles, the other 2 don't, and that's just purely because, well, for the aesthetic reason, and the fact that we don't have smaller handle moulds. If you do have any handles that you've taken off of other cupboards and you think would suit them, then, you know, when you're making yours, then by all means put them on. Put them on. The idea of doing this is to upcycle, recycle, use mixed media as much as you can. So here we go. This is 24 hours later. So the resin's thoroughly cured. They're very lovely and shiny. And I have got some of these lovely golden butterflies. Now, these were made from the butterfly mould that we also got from Temu. And you've probably seen me dusting the moulds before in our previous videos. And then fill them up with resin, let them cure, and thought, do you know what? Why not? Let's put them on these trays. Now you can see here, this was my failed attempt with the biggest of the 3 trays, and I really was unhappy with it. Very, very unhappy. But just trying to show you here, look, we're going to put that on there. Now, that looks awful. That's my opinion. It just doesn't look right. So, here we go again. Trying to make it look a lot better. But we have a lot of different sheets, different coloured sheets of gilding foils, I suppose you'd call them. Look at that. Lovely pale lilac. And then I believe this one was the sapphire blue. Look at that. Lovely. And then this is a deeper fuchsia sort of pinky colour. And then there we go. That is the kit. So with that, that's the gilding paste. A couple of brushes. They are gilding adhesive. A couple of brushes. And also there is a varnish that comes with it. So you put your gilding adhesive on, you wait 20 to 30 minutes till it goes tacky, and then you take your gilding foils there and you apply them. So there we go. So here I am just using the gilding paste. It's opaque white. Goes on. It does, when it starts to dry, it does go clear. It's a bit like the PVA, and it's not PVA. But there we go. Just applying it. Now, at first, what I was going to do was just apply, or try and apply, these lovely gilding foil sheets to the very top part of this tray. That turned out to be quite tricky to get a crisp enough finished edge was nigh on impossible. Yeah, as I've said before in this video, I really struggled. I really did struggle with this. Yeah, I ended up having to have quite a lot of encouragement from Wayne to just, you know, stick with it, keep at it, keep going, and it'll work. I applied gilding paste to the other two trays, and on the bottom of this one, this is the biggest one, I applied a lot of gilding paste. I waited 20 to 30 minutes, let it go tacky, and then I thought, do you know what? Here we go. Let's do some multicoloured foils or flakes. I think these are foil sheets, actually. The only thing I would say about these, although they're very good value for money, they are quite thin. All the ones I've used before, I have upcycled a mirror before, which is in our hallway, and I used gold effect foil sheets and gilding paste, and it was thicker. It was definitely thicker, but this is what I had. This is what I was going to use, and look at that. So I've decided to pick out, I don't know if you remember the colour of the decoupage paper that's in this one, but it's all these pinks and golds and creams. So I thought, do you know what? Why not? Let's just throw everything at it again. Let's just do it. Let's go for it. So I applied 4 different colours: the gold, the deep fuchsia, the pale mauvey sort of lilac colour, and then a deep purple colour. And then literally just smoothed it on with the dry brush. There we go. That's it. And then you got this was the effect I got. Now you can see there's some loose flakes. If you just brush your brush lightly over the surface, they will come off. Now be warned, it gets everywhere. So what I should have done really is put down a sheet of paper over the top of my silicone mat. As you can see there, we've got some going on the sides as well. I do just finish off the sides in exactly the same effect as well. And then you coat everything. Once it's completely dried and you're happy with it, you coat everything with a couple of coats of the varnish. Now what I didn't show you is the very top. There you are, there's the sides all finished. The very top of this one, and the very tops, and in fact the sides and the insides of the others I did in the foil. Look at the blue. See, I did the blue. I'm just applying the varnish here. Oh, that's managed to pick up a bit of green. Never mind. As these are going to be for us in our home, it actually doesn't matter. It's fine. There we go. I want a little bit of the gold. So this is just applying the varnish. It dries clear. I also applied it to the bottom, the sides and the top. Don't forget, it doesn't need it on the inside because you've already got your coat of cured clear resin. So there we go. I did that with this one. I did it with the other two as well. Now the next step was to put on these gold coloured handles. Now I used super glue. I don't think we've got the best type of super glue, I have to say. This took 2 attempts to get it to stick to the tray itself, but I got there eventually. There we are. There. So we're just deciding we're going to line it up and then stick it to the outside. Now I had to apply quite a lot of pressure as well, which is really unusual for super glue. I don't know if it's because I was trying to put it on a varnished surface. I'm really not sure, but it stuck eventually. There we go. Now obviously there were no handles for the other two, so that step wasn't required. But I'd got the 3 golden butterflies. Now I wanted to put them on the tray. I decided where I was going to put them. So this is one going on this tray. And I did apply them in exactly the same way on the other 2. And here we have the final shot. Yeah, my gilding's not as good as it could be, but I am really pleased with these considering I was going to put this in the bin. I hope you've enjoyed this video showing a bit different mixed medias, craft techniques and effects. Why not have a go yourself? Take care everyone. Thanks again for watching. Liking, sharing, subscribing. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. and we'll see you again with another video very soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.